BC, it's your boy Ropes with my post-fight thoughts for the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight. I got bad news for the YTBC. You know, and I don't want to be bursting people's bubbles, but I got bad news, which I'll get to in a little bit, but I just got to say, it must suck to be Floyd Mayweather. It has got to suck to be that man. And I'm not talking about the money and all of that because, see, he's been a millionaire for a while now. So that shit gets old to anybody. I'm talking about it must suck to be Floyd. Because for the first time, I actually put myself into his shoes on Saturday night. When I looked at him, I saw something and it made me put myself in his shoes. And I'm going to attempt to do the same thing for y'all. I'm going to try to paint a picture, so follow along if you can. Now, I couldn't imagine walking around for 6 or 7 years being called a bitch, a duck, a chicken, a coward, a pussy, Mayweather, gay runner, Mayflower, Mayfeathers, you know, all these different names that he's being called. I couldn't imagine turning on ESPN and not being able to enjoy a nice piece about myself without having to look at Skippy Longstockings up there clucking like a chicken and calling Floyd a coward, saying that he's terrified of Pacquiao. I just couldn't imagine that, man. I couldn't imagine not being able to enjoy my victory for 30 seconds without being grilled about Manny Pacquiao and being accused of ducking him. I couldn't imagine doing all these different interviews and being asked about Manny Pacquiao. I can't imagine everybody saying that I was going to get fucked up. I was not only going to get beat, but I was going to get knocked the fuck out by Pacquiao. As soon as Pacquiao lands a single fucking left hand, I'm supposed to crumble, hit the ground, curl up into a little ball, and let the referee count me out. This is what's going to happen. This is why I brought up the drug test, because I'm somehow a mind reader. You know, I somehow knew that Pacquiao was going to refuse to prove that he was clean to the fans. So once again, the blame is just shit back to me. I'm bringing all this up because I'm a bitch. Even though I'm getting in the ring, putting my life on the line. Whether my fans like the opponent's selection or not, it still only takes one punch to put somebody away. And I get through all of this convincingly. I beat all of these guys convincingly. And I'm still being called a bitch, a duck, a coward, a pussy. I couldn't imagine actually trying to make the fight happen with Pacquiao and having all of Pacquiao's shit, all of his excuses being ignored by the public and the blame constantly being put on me, no matter what I did to try to make the fight happen. I couldn't imagine actually making the fight happen, signing the contract, or even before the contract. I couldn't imagine just announcing that Pacquiao was going to be my next opponent, and I'm thinking that everybody's going to be excited, but instead, oh, no, he's not. He's lying. He's going to pull out of the fight. Watch him get injured. He's a bitch. He's scared. He's not really going to fight him. Sign the contract, Floyd. Sign the contract. He's not going to sign. He's a bitch. I couldn't imagine having to listen to all that bullshit. And then after I signed the shit, people are still saying, oh, I don't believe he's going to fight him. He's going to pull out. He's not going to come out the back. Something's going to come up. I couldn't imagine actually working hard every fucking day in that damn gym, focused on my craft, trying to be sharp because I want to show everybody that I'm better than Pacquiao, that this guy doesn't belong in the ring with me. I couldn't imagine having all the mental fucking stress that was involved with this fight. Not really being able to focus on Manny Pacquiao as much as I would like to because I have to do 10,000 interviews and get asked the same thing. I can't imagine signing the biggest fight in my life against the guy who's supposed to destroy me And the entire buildup I have to listen about me being a woman beater. You know, talking about domestic violence, the whole thing, not really focusing on the fight itself, just talking about a whole bunch of other shit. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to deal with that, man. That sucks. He couldn't even enjoy his own build-up. Everything was about this bitch who was probably drunk, which he said there was bottles all over the house and shit. She had friends over. They was drinking, not really paying attention to the kids and shit. Supposedly from him, he's saying that he had to restrain her. And you know what? I know that scenario very well. That's why I think it's fucked up. I think they took away from this fight talking about that the entire time. And I just wouldn't been able to deal with it, man. That's why I say it has to suck to be Floyd. But back to the picture though. So after all of this, now I got this man in front of me. Now's my chance. I go in there, I completely outclass the shit out of Pacquiao. This fight wasn't even close, 9 rounds to 3. This is a guy who's supposed to break Floyd Mayweather's nose. You know, blood was going to be everywhere. Floyd's eyes were going to be shut. All of this was going to happen to Floyd. He was going to get hit with blistering punches. He was going to get knocked out. He was going to fly all out the ring and everything. But instead, none of that happens. Floyd just did the exact same thing that he always does. He wins this fight more convincingly than a lot of his other fights, than the Madonna fight, both of them. Even though he won the second fight convincingly, I think Madonna still did better than Pacquiao in this fight. Pacquiao put forth the shittiest performance against Floyd since Robert Guerrero. I mean, what does that say? So I can't imagine being in there and just completely embarrassing this guy who's supposed to destroy me, that I had no chance against, that I was scared of, that I was a bitch over, a pussy over. And finally thinking after the fight, yes, finally, after all of this stress, I finally showed them that I'm the best. I finally showed them that this guy never belonged in the ring with me. And I'm happy as shit. I'm thinking finally these motherfuckers are going to accept that I'm the best. And I climb up on those ropes after the decision, the unanimous decision. I climb up on those ropes. I'm happy as shit. I look into the crowd and I get booed. That would make me want to spit on one of those motherfuckers in the crowd. I'm dead serious. I would want to spit on one of those motherfuckers for doing that. I think that's the most disrespectful shit. You don't boo somebody who clearly won a fight. Only time that's acceptable is when a fighter gets a gift decision, or if he was just a dirty fighter. He just won being dirty and just cheating and shit the entire time. That's the only acceptable reason to boo somebody after they clearly fucking won. And for the first time, when I looked at Floyd, I actually felt sorry for him, man, because I saw that this time he was frustrated with that shit. Before, he's used to getting booed and all of that. He never really cared before. But I think that he thought it was going to be different this time around because it was Manny Pacquiao, a guy who had Chris Algieri rolling around on the ground in his last fight. He had Timothy Bradley breaking his fucking legs again. Beat the shit out of Brandon Rios with no problem. After beating this guy, I still get booed. I don't get any respect after that. See, that's why after Saturday night, when I noticed that, it got to Floyd. That's why he was yelling at the crowd, saying, I won, fuck it, strap me up. He was pissed off. He was a little bit livid. And that's why he's been doing what he's been doing. This is why he's been choosing his opponents and doing all this stuff, because it doesn't matter if he fights the person that you want to see him fight, as long as he's not getting knocked out or beat the fuck up, he's not going to get credit. So if I was Floyd, what I would do is I would fight 2 fucking bums, break the fucking record, and get the fuck out of boxing. That's what I would do. I would pick 2 bums off the fucking street, pick them up, dust them off, beat the shit out of them, and retire and break the record. Because it doesn't matter what Floyd does. If he goes and he fights Triple G and he put forth the same performance that he did against Manny Pacquiao, same action, it goes exactly the same way, he's going to be happy as shit. Yeah, I beat Triple G. They thought there was no way in hell I can hang in there with this man. And I just outclassed him. He's going to be happy as shit. He's going to stand up on them fucking ropes. He's going to look into the crowd. And you shitty ass fans are going to boo the fuck out of him. He can fight Klitschko. The same damn action. Completely outclass him, completely outbox him. He's gonna be happy as shit. Fuck, I just beat a Klitschko, a heavyweight. Now they're finally gonna accept me. He's gonna climb up on them fucking ropes. He's gonna look into that crowd. And you silly motherfuckers is gonna boo the fuck out of him. That's why he should just go ahead, pick 2 bums out, and not even take any risk. Because it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter. You just want to see him lose. Whenever you're watching the Floyd Mayweather fight, it's to see him lose. And if that doesn't happen, you're just upset and you won't give him any credit. I mean, this is what's happening right now. People don't even want to blame the right person for this fight being boring, because it wasn't boring to me. I enjoyed it because I knew it was going to go like that, and I knew that everybody was going to say that it was a boring fight after the fight was over, because I told you that this was going to be a typical Floyd Mayweather fight that Manny Pacquiao just so happens to be in, and that's exactly what happened. He made Manny Pacquiao look like a fucking bum, which he's not, but somehow Floyd made him look like that. So what's the point of him going and moving up to middleweight and fighting Triple G? It's always going to be something to complain about. This is what I'm noticing. He just beat Manny Pacquiao. Easy. Manny Pacquiao did not look finished. He did not look washed up or anything like that when he had Chris Algieri doing somersaults in the fucking ring and shit on the ground. Okay? Why is he washed up now? And I'm disgusted with Manny Pacquiao. I don't have any respect for him, man. I'm going to tell you why. Because, number one, he's a sore loser. He doesn't take his losses like a man. Number two, something that I noticed. Now, the entire buildup of this fight, I've had to be in church with Pastor Pacquiao. Every time they put the camera on this man, every time they let this man talk, they gave him a microphone, I had to pause whatever video it was I was watching, go put a fucking suit on with some church shoes, grab my Bible, and I was ready, because that's what it was. I had my Bible open, the 2nd Job, ready to read along with Pastor Pacquiao. That's what I had to deal with the entire buildup of this fight. He goes in there after saying that God was on his side, God was going to deliver Mayweather into his hands. God loves him more, basically. He's the saint, and he's going to defeat this devil. This was his whole angle, the entire buildup of this fight. He goes in there, he gets his ass whipped, and all of a sudden, God is missing from every interview he's doing. Now, I haven't heard them all yet. Maybe I haven't found them all, but the ones that I've heard, including the post-fight interview with Max Kellerman, God was completely missing from Manny Pacquiao's mouth. Where's the t-shirts at, Pacquiao? Remember when you had the t-shirt on with the Bible shit on it and you was throwing your hands up in the air, wiggling your head around, smiling and shit? What happened? He gets his ass whooped and all of a sudden he's an atheist now. You know, God doesn't exist anymore. You know, he done broke up with God now because he's mad. He's feeling some type of way. You know, where was the brotherly Christian love when Mayweather walked over to him after the fight, extended himself, and said, hey man, you one hell of a fighter. You tough. You still a true champion. Did Pacquiao look like a loving Christian brother to you? Because to me, he looked a little bit salty to me. Because by his standards, he found out that God actually loves Mayweather more. And I think that he felt some type of way about that. So he broke up with God. Now he's mad with God now. And this is why this is stupid, because the last time he was talking about God was on his side and God was going to give him the power and the strength. I remember God actually shoving his head into one of Marquez's counter right hands and telling Pacquiao, I don't want to be bothered with that shit. Don't put me in that. You're going to have me looking bad out here. I remember God telling him that the last time he was talking like this, and he didn't learn his lesson, man. That's why I don't feel sorry for his silly, pathetic ass, man. This motherfucker's actually walking around with an arm sling, man. I mean, he's really trying to play this shit all the way out. He's supposed to be a Christian man, and he's in there lying after the fight to everybody. I mean, what would Jesus do, Pacquiao? Since you want to talk about God all the time, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus ever lace him up? Would Jesus approve of you getting in the ring and punching somebody in the face for money and putting his name in the middle of it for popularity? That's why that shit is stupid as fuck, man. And what he did was he used God as a promotional tool to rally up some Christians on his side to probably steal some American fans away from Floyd. Because this is an America is a Christian country for the most part. That's what it's considered. Even though there's several different religions here, it's considered a Christian country for the most part. So he played the Tim Tebow card, and now that he didn't got his ass whooped, he threw that card away now. That's why I don't have any respect for Pacquiao for pimping the name of God like that. I mean, even if you don't believe in God, you know he does. And I don't think that that's right to do. That's why I don't give a shit about his injury. I hope it takes him out of boxing forever for doing that shit. And for being a bitch after the fight. And I've never called a fighter a bitch, but Manny Pacquiao is a bitch, man. He's looking like a straight bitch right now. Crying and shit. You know, making excuses. If you thought you won the fight, why are you talking about your fucking shoulder? And on top of that, see, when Floyd had his injury against Castillo in the first fight, the fight where you said that Castillo whooped his ass, which is a good argument, you saw that he had an injury. You saw that he wasn't using that hand. Manny Pacquiao was using both of his fucking hands, and both of them shits had power and speed in them. Some of those punches when he was catching Floyd on the elbow and the gloves looked like those shits would have hurt if they had landed. I never saw him grab his shoulder. I never heard him complain about it. He didn't mention it to Max Kellerman in the ring. But he's sitting in the press conference like a little whole ass little bitch that he is, holding his shoulder and shit. Wanting pity. Looking pathetic. Not admitting that Mayweather was the better man that night. And asking for a rematch like that. No, he wants to bring the Pactards back out. Because see, that's the bad news. These Pactards haven't gone anywhere, man. They're coming out one by one. One is coming out, looking behind them, telling the other one it's safe to come out. And eventually they all gonna be out again. because Manny Pacquiao is going to demand a rematch because he was hurt. He was injured. He couldn't get his right hand off right. And people are going to say, oh, Floyd, you're a bitch. You don't want to fight him again. You knew that his arm was fucked up. Now his arm is good and you ducking. Look at you, you ducking. That's what's going to happen, man. I can already see it, man. It's already started. And then if he goes in there and shuts Pacquiao out next time, it's going to be another excuse. That's why I just say, hey, man, fight two bums and get the fuck out. Fuck it. Enjoy the money. I want to see his story end up good, man. As much as he gets on my nerves, as much as he annoys me, as much as he says dumb shit about Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson and all of them, even though he does all that, man, I still would like to see his story end well. Because at the end of the day, you can't deny that he works hard. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Manny Pacquiao got his ass whooped. Okay, he got outboxed. Mayweather outlanded him. He outthrew him. He made him miss all night. And that's that, man. That's that, man. Marquez probably did worse than Pacquiao. But this has been the shittiest effort to beat Floyd Mayweather since Robert the Ghost Guerrero. I mean, it was just bad, man. Miguel Cotto did better. De La Hoya did better. Ricky Hatton got knocked out. He even did better because he put forth a better effort. He took the risk. Manny Pacquiao didn't want to take any risks, man. I think he was worried about getting knocked out. He was gun shy. He's the person to blame for the fight being boring to you, not Floyd Mayweather. He was exactly the same as he always is in every fight. But anyway, I'm out. Deuce.